Welcome to today's podcast. I'm Chavi and I'm thrilled to have Mr. Deep Chopra with us. He's a senior account manager at Ad Factors with extensive experience in public relation. Today we'll be diving into some specific topic examples, stakeholder communication, internal PR strategies, or the four models of PR. Thank you for joining with us, Mr. Deep. Questions. So,
Okay.
my first question will be, oh, can you describe your role and responsibility as public relation professional within your agency?
Okay. So I'm a senior account manager. I have more than 10 years of experience, and the role probably is around strategic communications as well as media planning and buying. Apart from that, I also focus on crisis communication whenever they arise. And then we dwell on strategies that can probably help brands overcome that crisis. And apart from that, the usual media placement of my client, and basically, I'm the lawyer of my client. I protect their reputation. I either make it or I either protect them from tarnishing that. So I think that sums up what I really do at our practice PR.
Mm, that's very nice. Um, could you share an example of how stakeholder engagement influenced a PR campaign or communication strategy?
There can be many, but one can be the sad passing away of Sri Ratan Tata. Since I lead the Tata mandate for our practice PR, passing away was a big jolt to the whole of company, to all the stakeholders. And since he's somebody who is loved by the masses, we had to be very empathetic in our approach. And since there are more than 131 brands that Tata services, that then we had to make sure that the communication across channels was simple, plain, and empathetic. And usually there is only one stakeholder, but there were multiple stakeholders. And then the
Mm.
PR machinery came into play, and we made sure that what we communicate, how we communicate, when do we communicate, and the medium that we communicate are really important and are in sync with what public relations is all about. And keeping the relations in the public, we really made sure that no news or any such thing from any of the stakeholders goes which is insensitive. And though it did not make a lot of breaking news, but it was managed in a very subtle way that the image of Tata's stood, as well as people were empathetic about the passing away of Sri Ratan Tata.
Yeah. Correct. So, as a PR, communication is very important. Also, like, how
Hmm.
do you manage internal communication within your agency or with clients, and how does it contribute to overall organizational goal? Like,
See, it is very simple. To become a good PR professional, you have to be very good communicator. And by communicator, I do not mean that you have to talk more, right?
yeah.
You have to be subtle in your approach. You have to make sure that your team is aligned with the vision and goals of the company.
Mm.
Your team, first of all, understands, right, what you really want to do. I have a team of around 32 people who report into me. So I make sure that, and everybody is different, right? Somebody will work very good on one particular day, and somebody will be little down. So as a leader, as somebody who has been a training account executive and at practice period now has risen to being a senior account manager, I think it is very important to communicate, be clear, and be honest in the approach, right? It would be wise if I tell them what I need them at 8 a.m. in the morning rather than telling them at 5 p.m. in the evening that this is not something that will work. And internal communication is as equally important as external communication, because internal communication tells you what your stakeholders are, right? How you are going to react to certain things that will come your way. And internal communication is basically, I will consider as the core of PR. Because
Yeah.
no matter how much external PR you will do, till the time your own stakeholders are not informed of what you are doing, how you are doing, and when you are doing, you will fail, right? So, for the team's betterment, and as a leader, as somebody who oversees the operations, I make sure that they are aligned with my thought processes, and we always deliver very good result. And we work hard, we party very hard. So
Yeah.
that's the goal. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. The you know which of like the four PR models like press, agentry, public information, two-way symmetrical or two-way symmetrical, uh, do
Mhm.
do you primarily use in your practice and like why?
So see, primarily it will be two-way communication, right? These models are very good in books, but when we speak from a Indian PR agency context, the two-way communication really works because see, it has to be a dialogue, right?
Yeah.
It can't be that if you're speaking to me, I just keep on speaking and there is no feedback, right? So the
Yeah.
feedback is also very important, Shavi, right? The feedback is very important that how things are happening, when things are happening, and the feedback tells us if we are going wrong, right?
Yeah.
So it is of prime
Absolutely.
importance that, and in any company, right, and any relationships, right, you have so many relationships. You would be having your brother, father, mother, sister, right?
Yeah.
So till the time it is not a two-way communication, it is not a dialogue. The communication will always fail flat on the deck, right? So it is very important for any company, not just leave about the PR industry. PR industry is very small. It is just a 7,000 crore empire, right?
Yeah.
But in any work scenario that you work in, I think two-way communications are very important, and that should be followed. And that is what all the good companies, be it HUL, Viacom, Goldman Sachs, Apple, you name it, they follow a two communication approach, and that is why they are successful.
Yeah. Correct.
Hmm.
Um, also, how do you strategize and approach, like, how do the strategies and approaches differ when working with government agency or public institute? Like, is it,
It is very simple. It
yeah,
is very simple. Whenever we are dealing with any government client or any client that impacts the basically PSU of the government, you have to take care the stakeholders involved, right? If my communication goes wrong from a government entity, the impact can be multi-fusional, right? If
yeah,
I'm servicing SBI and if I give a wrong information or a wrong press release, so I have to be doubly sure, right? Secondly, I don't have to use tactics such as mall activation, such as alternate articles, such as radio campaigns for a government public relations campaign because the reach of government is only very high, right? People will really follow what the government is saying. But when I service Tata or when I service Taj Hotels, which I lead right from Delhi, I have to have a very different approach in which I will call influencers. I will do a lot of lifestyle buying. I will do a lot of media buying, and I'll make sure that my message reaches to the audience. One word answer: in government, we have to be very mature. In non-government, we have a level of experimentation, right, which we call AOE, arc of experimentation. You should read about it whenever you get time. So it is basically how much lever elasticity you have when you are dealing with certain PR companies. So I think with government we have to be really really safe. Our communication has to be direct. There shouldn't be no flowery words, right?
yeah,
But when we are working in a lifestyle brand or when we are working for a non-government entity, then the elasticity is more, the flexibility is more. You can really try things. Maybe they will fail, maybe they will flourish. So it is basically working for BJP or working for Durex, right? Durex as a brand can really experiment with things, but Narendra Modi can't, right? So
yeah,
that's the basic difference. And common sense is very important whenever we're working with government. Yeah.
yeah.
Which is missing in most of the people. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so
Yeah.
my last question is, what do you believe are the biggest challenges like facing the PR industry today? Like, and how are you addressing them? Like, what will be the
Okay.
biggest
So
challenges right now?
there are three. There are
Okay.
three.
Okay.
Okay. So there are three. One is there is lack of talent, right? People are not very. There is a dearth of talent because see, people just come. They think that okay, this is public relations. If we have a flair for talking to people, we will do public relations. But public relations is very deep. It is communication. It is the first tenet of our even constitution, right? Anything that is communicating, it has to be done by an expert. So I feel that talent is a major issue that is facing the industry right now, the dearth of talent. The second thing is people are afraid to take risk. People are very happy in their own circle of people, arc of influence, which I usually call, right? And they are not willing to experiment. Like say, for example, If today I will ask any client what do they want from PR, they will say that we want a front page news article in Times of India or in Economic Times, right? But the times are changing. People are now moving to digital. People are now moving to LinkedIn. People are now moving to podcasts. So I think the shift is also very important. And third is AI, right? Because AI can be a friend as well. AI can be your it can be villain as well, right? So you have to make sure that you take the best things out of AI, and you don't only take the best thing, but you also make sure that your work for the client becomes easier, right? So in case you are writing a press release, just don't copy paste, right?
Yeah.
Just make sure that the first draft can be written by an AI, and then you have to really put your creative flair into it. And that is how you will rise in the world of PR, right? And
Yeah.
I'm myself a PhD, so I know the importance of talent. I know the
Yeah.
importance of education. So it is very important. I think these are the three challenges. Rest, it's a very glorious picture. Let me put it on record since you're recording this. Public relations is one of the highest paying jobs out there, right?
Yeah.
If you have the right talent, an engineer will only earn 4 lakh rupees a month, even if he's the head engineer. But a communication professional can earn 4 crores or 10 crores or 40 crores. There is no limit. There is no bar to how a communication professional earns. I know few people, a lot of people actually, who earn more than 1 CR a month, right, in communication. And it is all about relationships.
Yeah.
How your relationships are the real gold in today's
Mm.
time. If you have them, you are successful. If you don't have them, then you'll live a mediocre life.
Yeah, yeah, true. Okay, thank you so much for taking your
That's
time. Thank you so much, Mr. Deep, for taking the time to share your insight and experience. It's been a pleasure talking with you, learning more about all these topics, all this subject which was not aware of. Wishing you all the best in your work, and thank you again for being here. Um, and I hope you find this conversation as inspiring and informative as I did. So, guys, until next time, keep learning and stay curious. Bye.